Welcome shooters and hunters. Today we're going to be taking a look at a very special pistol, the Bernardelli Practical VB Elite. You may be familiar with the Bernardelli Practicals. They do come up for sale from time to time on Gunbroker. They're very good pistols. They have a lot of features packed into them and they're a lot of fun to shoot. This gun here is a little bit different from a typical practical that you may find on Gunbroker, and in fact this is the only one that I've ever seen. I'm sure there's probably a few others floating around, but I was only able to borrow this one. It's the only one I've ever seen. I was very happy to be able to have it lent to me, and so let's take a look at it. The Practical Elite is a little bit different. Most of the Practicals have a 3-port compensator on them, and this one, it looks like it has a compensator, but it doesn't. It's actually, I wouldn't even call this a barrel weight. It's more of like a front side extension. And it also helps with the lockup of the barrel as well, and I'll show you that in a second. The front sight is actually grooved into the extension, and there's no groove for on the slide itself. A lot of times you'll see where the slide is just taken and they'll put a little spacer in here to fill it in for whatever they're doing. But this one, they made this slide specifically for this style, and it looks very, very good and very aesthetically pleasing. Now I'm going to pull the slide back and show you a couple of interesting things. Number one, the barrel is a little bit thicker in the front, so it does have really good lockup with the slide. And two, there's two lugs right here. There's one here and one on the other side right there. And these lugs go right into the slide right here and also help with the lockup. And so when it is in this position, there's just hardly any movement whatsoever. It's a very, very tight, very well thought out design, and it works great. Next thing I'd like to show you is the slide release and the safety. The safety works very good. Has very good positive clicks to it. It's also very wide, as you can see here, and with my hands, it's very easy to operate. However, the slide, or the safety, excuse me, to hit the slide release, you really got to get your thumb around the safety, and it's actually quite difficult to do. So you do have to rotate your hand a little bit, shift your grip to hit that if you wanted to do so. The next thing I'd like to show you is the trigger. And the trigger on this pistol is phenomenal, and I really do mean that. It comes in around 2 pounds 6 ounces, which is nice. I've had pistols that are lighter and pistols that are heavier, but the take up and break on this, I'm just going to say, is probably the best I've ever felt for a pistol out of the box factory, and for a double or even a single stack 9mm. And I mean, it's better than a SIG P210-5, a Swiss one. I really haven't compared it much to a Pardini. That may give it a run for its money, but other than that, I mean, anything else that I've played with, I mean, this trigger beats it. It really does, which is very surprising. You never hear about Bernardellis and their amazing triggers or anything like that. But okay, but it is a great clean breaking trigger, and I'm going to show it to you right now. And so that's the take up right there. That's all there is to it. And that was the break. And you probably didn't even see the trigger move that much at all. I'll do it again for you one more time. There's the take up. That was the break. That's it. I'll show you the reset now. So trigger's all the way back. That was the reset, and it's against the wall right now. It's just ready to go. That was it. Very, very wonderful trigger. And the trigger is adjustable. Right here you have 2 screws. You got the pre-travel and post-travel for the trigger, so you can adjust it the way you really like it. A few other features. It does have fiber optic front and rear sights. They are pretty old and probably should be replaced. The grips are wood. Very basic kind of grip, I think, overall. It's just a wood grip with slots in it. Has very nice, good front checkering on the grip and on the back and on the trigger as well, and then some fine lines on the trigger. The trigger guard is actually kind of large. It's a little bit surprising because when you put your finger in here, you have quite a bit of room. Not that it really matters or anything, but it is kind of big. A little unusual there. And that's about it for the gun. I will say, I believe the magazine holds about 15 rounds. When comparing it to a Beretta magazine, you know, a lot of times you find these guns and there's only one mag, and you're like, okay, great, I only got one mag. You can't find any other mags. You may be able to for this gun. I have seen them out there, and I always like to try out a Beretta mag because the Beretta mag does seem to go across several different platforms. But on this pistol, the Beretta mag doesn't seem to fit. The floor plate hits the jet funnel, which also, by the way, yes, there is a jet funnel that's bolted on here. And it's about 1/4 of an inch too short on the inside. So I don't know if maybe perhaps you got an extended Beretta mag, perhaps that would work. But it doesn't seem to work right now. One last thing I'd like to show you real quick. Right here on the side, there's a slot cut. You can see that, and that's a little bit unusual. I've never seen that in a pistol before. It seems like that this is pressed a little bit out, and it helps create a tighter slide to frame. And when you take this slide off, you can really feel right when you're trying to get the slide into about right here. It's very tight. There are 4 screw holes. They are factory. There was an option for a red dot, but I've never seen a mount. So if you ever come across one that does have the mount with it, definitely take a look at it. Overall, it's a phenomenal pistol. You don't see them much. You know, maybe one you want to, if you've got one of everything, maybe you want to take a look at one of these if you ever came across one. You know, put it on your search for gun broker, and if one ever comes up, you'll get an email. They're just great guns that sort of fly under the radar, and surprisingly, they don't bring a super premium amount of money for them compared to some other guns that the triggers aren't as nice and are far more common. So you know, you may really luck out and find one of these and get a great deal on it and really enjoy shooting it. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. No one has yet, so I hope someone's watching this, but please subscribe or at least like it. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good day.